at the Sports Arena in Los Angeles, California, in downtown Los Angeles, adjacent to the Coliseum, the home of the L.A. Raiders. And this the first NBA game at the Sports Arena in some 17 years. It is opening night at home for the new L.A. Clippers, who have a record of 1-1, and they go up against the New York Knicks, who are also 1 up and 1 down. They're expecting a crowd of between 10 and 12,000. Hi, everybody. Marv Albert, along with Butch Beard. And for the Knicks, it is game number 2 of the 5-game road trip. They come off the loss Tuesday night in Utah, losing to the Jazz, a game that really slipped away, and for the first time in a long, long while, you'd have to go back a couple of seasons, a game that Bernard King did not have it, particularly in the second half.
Well, this is true, Marv. Bernard King actually scored 4 points in the second half. He was 9 for 21 for the game. He was only 2 for 11 in the second half, and he did struggle, and the ball club struggled, so consequently, they came up with a loss.
We will not see too many of those nights. And, of course, in fairness, Bernard, I thought, was played well. He was pushed out and taking shots from longer range than usual.
Well, what happened was the Jazz did a good job of double and triple teaming Bernard down low. The Knick guards did not hit the outside shot, so therefore the defense just stayed down there. And you're right, Bernard did force a few shots, but tonight is a new night, and I'm pretty sure he's ready to play.
All right, the Clippers with a new address and a new look. They are a vastly improved ball club led by perennial all-star Marcus Johnson, who is back home.
Well, Marcus Johnson is back home. He's from nearby Crenshaw High School. He's averaging 25 points a game. He will be the leader of this ball club, and they have a realistic shot of getting into the playoffs after being the doormat down in San Diego so many years.
All right, the Knicks and the Clippers are coming up. Opening night for the Clippers in Los Angeles with fireworks.
At forward, 6'9", 225-pounder, the only player in NCAA Division I to finish in the top 10 in both scoring and rebounding. Out of San Diego State in his rookie year, number 44, Michael Cage. At forward, a 6'10", 220-pound veteran of 10 NBA seasons. He joined the Clippers in a big trade from Milwaukee, a product of Hardin Simmons, number 41, Harvey Catching. At guard, in his rookie year in the NBA, following a college career at the University of Louisville, where he earned second-team All-American honors last year, at 6'3", 185 pounds, number 4, Lancaster Gordon. At forward, also in his rookie campaign in the NBA, Boston College's third best scorer all time, and an all Big East selection last season, 6'11", 235 pounds, number 46, Jay Murphy. At guard, 6'5", 195 pounds, who played his collegiate basketball for Jimmy Lynam at St. Joseph's University in Philadelphia, and came to the Clippers from Washington just 4 days prior to training camp, number 13, Brian Warwick. At forward, one of the steadiest performers for the Clippers during the preseason. It earned him a spot on the roster. A veteran of 2 NBA seasons, standing at 6'8", 210, number 22, Rory White. And now the Clippers starting lineup. At forward, standing 6'7", 222 pounds, a 4-time NBA All-Star. Played his collegiate basketball at UCLA. Number 8, Marcus Johnson. At forward, at 6'11", 235, his 11th NBA season. The most valuable player in 78, number 32, is Bill Walton. At 7'2", 280 pounds, a product of Washington State University and 4 NBA seasons, number 40, James Donaldson. At guard, in his 3rd NBA season with the Clippers, his 2nd season with the Clippers, a member of the University of Louisville's NCAA championship team in '79, number 18, Derek Smith. And finally at guard, in his 8th season, a member of 2 NBA championship teams, one of the best, Norm Nixon. The head coach of the LA Clippers, Jim Lynam. His assistants, Brad Greenberg and Don Chaney. The trainer is Mike Sheminsky.
So the introduction of the Los Angeles Clippers, and Butch with that fireworks display, I think the Clippers may have been fortunate to survive the introductions. And now, Los Angeles Mayor Tom Bradley about to throw up the ceremonial first ball. The New York Knicks starting lineup: Pat Cummings at center, Bernard King and the rookie Ken Bannister at the forwards, Trent Tucker and Rory Sparrow in the backcourt. So here is Mayor Tom Bradley. The Clippers at 1 up and 1 down. Beat the Jazz 103-94 in Salt Lake City. And they're going all out here at the sports arena. Tuesday night in Phoenix, these Clippers were beaten by the Suns 99-96. So tonight, the home opener with all the theatrics involved. Bernie Fryer getting set to toss it up for real. It'll be Fryer working alongside Ed Rush. And a look at the starting lineups for the Knicks and the Clippers. The Knicks beating Detroit at the Garden last Saturday night, and then the 117-111 loss in Salt Lake City on Tuesday night.
You know, Marv, only in Hollywood or in California could this happen, to have balloons being released and then people popping them.
What will they do with them in New York?
Probably take a gun and shoot them.
Wait a second.
No.
All right, Donaldson and Cummings on the tip, and Norm Nixon controls. Nixon guarded by Sparrow, and Bannister lost Walton, recovered for the rejection.
Super defensive play by Ken Bannister. The Clippers tried a lob pass to Walton, and Walton put it up. Bannister blocked it from behind, but it is the Clippers' ball out of bounds.
And here's Nixon getting the screen from Donaldson, so Cummings jumps out, leaving Donaldson down low. So the Clippers up by the score of 2-0 off the tip by Walton. And Nick assistant coach Rich Adebato says Walton is playing about 75 to 80% of what he was, and that is not bad. Of course, that is Rich's opinion. Bannister was hacked, and it's called in the act.
Well, they called the foul on Bill Walton as the Knicks cleared out the side, but Ken Bannister, he faked to the baseline, went to the middle. It looked like a pretty good block from my angle, but Ed Rush called a foul on Walton. Bannister shoots 2 free throws.
Ken Bannister, the rookie from St. Augustine in North Carolina, 7th round draft pick. Saturday night against Detroit, players still talking about that slam dunk by Bannister over Dan Roundfield.
Well, it was the most electrifying play that was in the whole game, and it really turned the game around for the Knicks, and I think that's the reason why they won.
All right, here's Derek Smith putting a move on Rory Sparrow. Nice pass. Marcus Johnson, and rebounded by Donaldson.
Well, again, the big people for the Clippers taking over the offensive boards. That time it was Donaldson who got the missed shot and put it back in.
Clippers lead it 4-2. Cummings did move to the right off the fake, but way off. And the Clippers on the run. Knicks getting back. Nixon. Norm Nixon whipping by Rory Sparrow for a 6-2 Clipper lead.
Nixon really showing his quickness and speed that time, getting by Sparrow for the fast break basket.
And Ed Rush with the call against the Clippers.
Foul is on Marcus Johnson as he and Bernard King were jockeying for position down low. First personal on Marcus Johnson.
And it's a non-shooting foul. Well, apparently they say no. Derek Smith picking up that foul. They changed the call. Minute and a half gone by. First quarter. Sparrow over Walton. And here's Cummings.
Cummings doing a good job of working the offensive boards, and that time Marvin looked like that shot was blocked in by Donaldson and Walton.
James Donaldson goes a very healthy 7'2", 280 pounds.
That's healthy.
So Cummings facing Mark Eaton, and now James Donaldson. And Cummings and Donaldson tie it up.
Marv, again, you had this situation where the Knicks are going to go against two big players. And Utah, they were out rebounded, and that was one of the reasons why they lost the game. And with Donaldson and Walton, who are averaging 11 rebounds apiece, the Knicks must keep them off of the boards, especially on the offensive end.
Pat Cummings giving away about 5 inches to James Donaldson. There's Walton. They double up on him. Trying to go behind the back. And Johnson, and apparently a Knick, deflecting it out. Last touched by the Knicks.
That was a super pass by Walton that just caught Derek Smith by surprise.
Ken Bannister giving away 4 inches on Bill Walton. Nice defensive play. Tucker coming over to help out. Here's Trent taking it to the hoop. And the basket will count. Goaltending on Walton.
Trent Tucker going to the hoop, one of very few times that he is. Well, actually, he is going to the hoop more than ever. There you see the block by Walton. A little, well, they call it goaltending. Not a bad-looking block, as a matter of fact.
Tied at 6. 2:15 gone by in this first quarter. The home opener for the new Los Angeles Clippers. Nixon getting it down low. Telegraph pass, and it's picked off. And Cummings shaken up. Bernard King, what a move, but the tip by Bannister.
Ken Bannister running the floor that time was able to tip the ball in as Bernard King missed the layup.
8-6, Knicks on top. Pat Cummings has been bothered by a hip injury, and there was a question about him earlier tonight. It looked like he was hurt just a moment ago. Good defense by the Knicks, forcing the turnover.
The Knicks are doing a good job right now on the two-man game. What they're doing is they're rotating the forward as the center rose to the hoop, and that time Nixon threw the ball away.
And here's King putting the move on Johnson. Yes. Bernard King hearing it from the crowd. A large contingent of Knicks fans here at the Sports Arena.
Just like playing at home for Bernard King.
And the same is true when the Knicks play the Lakers at the Forum. The Knicks up by 4, 10-6. Marv Albert, Butch Beard from Los Angeles. Smith looking to post on Tucker. Bad pass, but last touch by Bannister.
Well, you see what the Clippers are trying to do. They're trying to force the pass, and right now the Knicks have been extremely active with their hands, knocking the ball out of bounds. Right now there's 5 seconds for the Clippers to get the ball in bounds and get the shot out.
Knicks with 8 consecutive points to take the lead. Here is Smith. And Marcus Johnson on the follow. That's his first field goal. Marcus, incidentally, will be our guest at halftime following 7 years in Milwaukee, back in his hometown, acquired in the deal for Terry Cummings. Bannister. And rebounded by Cummings, doing a good job at the start here against Donaldson. The Knicks by 2, 10-8, 4 minutes in, first quarter. And Cummings does it from outside. Pat Cummings connecting on a second field goal.
If Pat Cummings can hit that shot, it's going to make Bernard King night so much easier down low. Marcus Johnson hits a driving, spinning layup.
So the Knicks by 2, 12-10. Marcus Johnson with 4 points. Again, King looking to post. And the Knicks fellow was last touched by the Clippers. Hubie Brown is off the bench arguing the call. Nixon with the one-on-one. Walton over Tucker. And it's called on Walton. Well, wait a moment. James Donaldson now being hit with that foul. So that's his first. And the Knicks will take over. It is the third team foul picked up by the Clippers. The Knicks by 2, 12-10. 3-second violation on the Knicks.
Not a bad offensive play by the Knicks that time. As a matter of fact, Bannister had done a good job of flashing into the paint, but Trent Tucker didn't see him in time, and he was there for the turnover.
Didn't line him up to call a play. They were looking for Johnson. Now Donaldson. The Knicks were screaming help from the bench. And here the Knicks on a break. King tried to twist his way through Smith and Nixon and could not. Donaldson. And we're tied at 12.
Bernard King trying to force the issue, ending up turning the ball over. That's what the Knicks did Tuesday night a lot against the Utah Jazz. They must keep their composure whenever they get an opportunity for an easy basket.
Harris Sparrow given room. And the Clippers look to run. The Knicks getting back. Nixon. Norman Nixon spent 6 years with the Lakers. Last year sent to the Clippers in the deal for rookie Byron Scott. And now with the franchise move, he is back here in Los Angeles.
Yes, he is, and he's extremely good around the free throw area, especially off the dribble, and he just showed it on that particular shot.
Trent Tucker, yes, and we're tied at 14. So for Tucker, his second field goal. 6 minutes remaining. First quarter. And Donaldson was fouled.
That's a tough matchup for Pat Cummings, especially after Donaldson just set the pick and rolled into the middle. He was behind him and he picked up the foul.
Cummings committing the foul. 5:49 remaining. First quarter. We're tied at 14.
Pretty sure that you thanked me for that.
I always appreciate the way you watch over me.
It's not easy.
And a foul off the double team. Sparrow says who, me? Off the hole. Second team foul committed by the Knicks. We're tied at 14. Norm Nixon. 3 field goals, 6 points for Nixon. Clippers by 2.
Like money in the bank, especially when Norm Nixon is on the move on the dribble, that time hitting the little 17-footer.
Here's King, nice fake on Johnson. Yes, it counts. Through the foul, and he'll go to the foul line.
Well, that just goes to show you how great Bernard King is. That time he had the ball at the head of the circle, went to his left, wasn't able to even square up as he faked Johnson in the air, put the shot up, hit it. Now he has a chance for a three-point play with the free throw.
5 points for Bernard, and the Knicks by 1. 17-16. 5:20 left in this first quarter.
And the first unit is applying pressure on the Clippers.
Wolf and the foul.
Man, that is excellent teamwork by the Clippers against the press. They did not dribble the ball at all. As a matter of fact, they passed the ball up the floor. Here you see the pass up the floor. Walton moving without the ball, receives it, goes up, scores, fouled by King. Excellent basketball by the LA Clippers.
And Walton with 5 points on the night. He is playing with bruised tendon above his left ankle, but did not seem to bother him the other night. 13 points, 10 rebounds against the Phoenix Suns in the loss to Phoenix. Cummings off a couple of moves, and 3-second violation on the Knicks.
3 seconds on Bannister, but Cummings had done a good job of getting Donaldson out of position. He went back to him instead of taking the shot, and that's where the turnover occurred.
Sparrow off the fever ring and takes it all the way on Nixon, doing it in his face.
Good defensive play by Rory Sparrow, stripping Norm Nixon and then scoring on the fast break basket.
5 turnovers committed by the Clippers, 4 by the Knicks. We're tied at 19. 4.5 left in this first quarter. Walt off the turn. Rebounded by Sparrow. See Rory checking the floor. Here's Tucker. And Bannister keeps it alive. Bernard King over Donaldson. Wow.
And Bill Walton. Bernard King floating the ball over both of the big people's hands, putting it in for the Knicks.
So Now the Knicks by 2, 21-19. Junior Bridgman getting set to come on for the first time. Here's Derek Smith. Rebounded by Cummings, and he's hurt. He went down. But a very rugged first quarter for Pat Cummings. Knicks want to call for time. Want a 22nd, and they get it. Well, Cummings hit the deck hard.
Right. Pat Cummings has what you would, it's almost a hip corner. And when you get touched there, it really hurts as it is. At that time, he fell on the floor as he grabbed the defensive rebound. And the Knicks called a 22nd timeout. Cummings going up, grabbing the rebound. Now he loses balance right there. He falls on the floor. And you see he's in pain as he gets the ball over to Sparrow.
Substitutions, Bridgman entering the game along with Rory White, 6'8", 210-pound forward out of South Alabama. His third season in the NBA. Junior Bridgman looking to battle out of a shooting slump. 0 for 6, 4 for 22 over the first two games. 0 for 6 the other night against the Phoenix Suns.
That translates to like 18% from the field.
Good figuring for the former Louisville stand-up. Apparently Cummings all right as he hits.
Nothing like an injury to get you going, you know?
Too many Louisville players on this Clipper roster. I count 4, but what is going on here?
For the first time, the Clippers.
Nice play, but Smith, another Louisville product, blew the layup and then hitting on the follow.
Derek Smith, they tried the alley-oop with him. He missed an opportunity for the easy one, grabbed his own missed shot, and put it back in.
23-21, Knicks by 2. King getting possession, saving. Here's Tucker. Very active first quarter for Trent Tucker.
And Bernard King did a good job working the offensive boards and getting the ball back to Tucker for the little 10-footer.
Lewis Orr up front replacing Bannister. Nice play. Donaldson able to take advantage and hits his third field goal. He has 6. The Knicks by 2, 25-23.
The guard is going to have to help the center on that play because the guard backpicked Cummings that time, which freed up Donaldson for the dunk.
And the foul is called. Let's see.
Oh, they're going to call an offensive foul on Bernard King instead of the wraparound on Marcus Johnson.
Well, Bernie Fryer was calling it on Johnson, but Ed Rush, the outside official, felt he had better position, and he called it on King for Bernard, his second. A timeout is called. The Knicks by 2, 25-23. City leads Houston 100-98. Second quarter, Denver over Chicago 44-38. Darrell Walker, Butch Carter now in the backcourt for the Knicks off the double team. The steal. And Walker with a circle work. Yes, and it counts. A gorgeous move against Marcus Johnson, who has picked up his second personal foul.
Well, the Knicks have their second unit in the game, and you know they're going to press. So here they get a golden opportunity to double team. And you see the basket there by Darrell Walker. So Walker beat Marcus Johnson to the hoop.
Donaldson off the boards. The Knicks now have Orr up front with Bailey and Grunfeld. Carter and Walker at the guards. Orr doubling up. And again, Nixon having a problem, and Orr ties him up. Good play.
When you have only one player handling the ball like the Clippers are doing with Norm Nixon, what the defense is doing, they're forcing him to the corners where you can double team. And so far, the Knicks have been fortunate with their double teaming situation.
It'll be Orr and Nixon. And the Knicks control. Walker guarded by Nixon. Here's Grunfeld. Rejected. Nixon gets it down. Bridgman lost the handle. And again, the Clippers turn it over. That's their 8th turnover.
That time they were trying to push the ball up just a little too fast. Norm Nixon throwing it. Junior Bridgman could not handle it. Turnover.
Here is Butch Carter. Nice gymnastic move by Darrell Walker, recovering after hitting the floor. Minute and a half left in this first quarter. And it's against the Clippers. Offensive foul, a flash of the elbow by James Donaldson.
Well, he was moving on the pick as Junior Bridgman was coming off of it. So, therefore, that's a turnover and an offensive foul against the Clippers.
Here is Carter. Bad shot by Butch. Is stopped and fouled.
And boy, is he lucky, because as Carter goes without the ball, you're going to see him receive it and make a little head fake in. Now there's the block, but you notice, if you could have noticed, Butch Carter may have been moving as he put the shot up, so that could be a big break for the Knicks.
James Donaldson picking up his third, and Bill Walton will return, so Walton will take over at center. Donaldson sitting down, 6 points, and 3 personal fouls. James Donaldson says his mother is not exactly an avid basketball fan. It was just recently that she found out that Dr. J and Magic Johnson are not the same person.
I will not comment on that.
That's what James' mother said, Butch.
She could be watching tonight. I don't want to get her upset at me.
Nice play by Grunfeld, getting the hand in and stepped out. Good hustle by Ernie Grunfeld.
Well, the second unit for the Knicks are extremely active here in the latter parts of the first quarter. And that time, Ernie did a good job of rotating, knocking the ball away, and almost coming up with a tremendous save for the Knicks.
49 seconds remaining, first quarter. Pretty give and go between Walton and Johnson, and Marcus will go to the line.
Bill Walton is probably, I'll take it back, he is the best passing big man in the game today. And when he was up in Portland, that's what the Portland Trail Blazers did. They really worked off of his ability to pass the ball, and that's how they won a championship, and he showed his great passing ability then to Marcus Johnson.
So here's Marcus on the line. He now has 5 points. Eric Smith was a little confused. Wanted to report into the game. He's kneeling down. He came over to us, and then he saw you, and he was very startled to see another Louisville Cardinal flash.
Flash?
Knicks 5-4, 28-24. 35 seconds left of the quarter. Pretty move by Walker. And the loose ball foul, says Bernie Fryer, against the Knicks. It's James Bailey.
Bailey trying to get to the offensive boards, went over the back of Bill Walton, picked up the personal. The Clippers will shoot 2 free throws with 32 seconds left in the quarter.
Bailey picking up his second. Bill Walton, in his 10-year NBA career, he has been able to play in only 311 of a possible 820 regular season games, battered by injuries. And last year, in and out of the lineup. Talk about in and out of the lineup. Truck Robinson making his first appearance of the new season. He was dressed for the game in Utah on Tuesday, but did not play. He has been bothered by a knee problem, said bursitis. So Truck Robinson getting his first action of the year. Knicks 5-4. Truck, the subject recently of many speculation trade stories. And some interesting quotes. And it's against Walker. Offensive foul.
And it was the right call as Walker went to the hoop. He pushed off with his left hand as Walton came over to block the shot. Walker picks up the foul, and Hubie Brown just picked out from Bernie Fryer.
Could pick up a quick second here
if he doesn't watch out, because Bernie Fryer as well as Ed Rush, they have a short fuse.
He'll be refusing to hand the ball back to Bernie Fryer. Here is Junior Bridgman to shoot the technical. 28-25, the Knicks by 3. 14 seconds remaining in the quarter. Out of 10 seconds. Bad pass from White. 5 seconds. Recovered by Smith. And a holding foul against Carter.
I'll tell you, the Knicks defensive pressure has really gotten the Clippers out of their offensive set, but that time Butch Carter, in his haste of trying to push the ball up the floor, ended up fouling Smith as he stole the ball from him.
Eric Smith celebrating his 23rd birthday.
Today?
Yes.
He's only 23?
You were not invited, obviously.
And I don't have a present.
He finished very strong last season. Final 20 games, averaged 17 points. And in the starting lineup for the Clippers as the off guard. 4 seconds remaining of the quarter. The Knicks by 2. And Orr did not realize the time. At the end of 1 here in Los Angeles, the score, the Knicks 28 and the LA Clippers 26.
Here in the early part of the season, they last year only gave up 102 points, and already they've given up 117 points in the first 2 games, as you see Eddie Wilkins there, who is out with the sprained right ankle.
Well, he's sitting out once again. He missed the game against the Jazz following that electrifying rookie debut at the Garden Saturday night against Detroit. No pressure by the Clippers. Down to 10 on the shot clock. And the foul on the Knicks. A long stare from Truck Robinson, who picks up his first.
Well, Truck Robinson felt that he didn't push Walton in the back, but this is interesting. This is one of the very few times that I've seen a ball club pressure the Knicks, and that's what the Clippers did.
And here is White, stopped by Robinson. And the Clippers upset. They felt there should have been a hacking foul.
Not a bad idea by Darrell Walker. As a matter of fact, when Walker came off the Robinson's pick, here you're going to see the block by Robinson. That wasn't a good block, but Robinson should have rolled to the goal the last play.
Derek Smith, beautiful play. Derek Smith, a member of Louisville's 1980 National Championship team that featured Darrell Griffith. Began his NBA career with Golden State. Clippers signed him as a free agent last year, and he has really come on. Traveling violation on Grunfeld. So the Clippers take over. We're tied at 28, a minute gone by in the second quarter.
Ernie got caught in between. He should have taken a shot. Then he thought about driving to the hoop, and he ended up walking.
Lancaster Gordon making his first appearance of the night. Here is Bridgman. Walt again. And he's fouled.
When the ball club is doing what the Knicks are doing, what they're doing is that they are double teaming at half court. It's going to leave somebody open. Here you see Bridgman take the jumper. Now, nobody has blocked Walton out. He has the inside position. He goes up with the tip. Now he's getting ready to go back up. There's contact as the block is made. Walton shoots 2 free throws. He's a 40% free throw shooter. Missed the first of 2.
And he is now 1 for 4 on the night.
That could be his Achilles heel, so to speak. He's not a very good free throw shooter, but the rest of his game is excellent.
And Clippers now 5 for 10 from the line. A little contact there, no call made. And Orr able to get it ahead. Here's Grunfeld wide open. You trucker! Robinson had it slapped away. And last touch along the baseline by Carter.
Well, as Truck Robinson started to make his move, a guard came from behind and knocked it away, and the Knicks ended up turning it over. But I'm impressed with the fact that the second unit for the Clippers are pressuring the Knicks.
Here's White, lost it. Grunfeld leading Walker with Gordon back. Darrell Walker with a beautiful extension.
Defense making an offense, Mark, for the Knicks that time with Walker scoring on the layup.
And the Knicks lead it by 1, 30 to 29.
Hubie wanted a foul call against Derek Smith because he had pushed Darrell Walker away, and there you see a foul on Ernie Grunfeld. Interesting. Didn't look like it.
And for Grunfeld, his second personal foul. The Knicks now with 3 team fouls. This is Smith handling against Carter. Robinson guarding Walton. And we get a traveling violation called on Bill Walton.
Nice job by the guard that time, dropping back as Walton started to make his move, causing him to turn the ball over.
And it has been a high turnover first half. The Clippers with their 12th, the Knicks with 10. 2.5 gone by, second quarter. Knicks lead at 30-29. Darrell Walker. Yes. And he is hitting that outside shot.
It is a much improved shot that Darrell Walker is showing. He just simply took his time and hit the little 15-footer over in the corner.
Walker has 6 points. The Knicks by 3. Here's Lancaster Gordon forcing it. Rebound Robinson. Good position by Truck. And Walker drew the foul.
Darrell Walker pushing the ball up the floor. That time took Lancaster Gordon down into the paint, turned to his right. Contact was made. Walton came back and blocked the shot, but Darrell Walker was fouled by Gordon, so he will shoot 2 free throws.
Lancaster Gordon committing his first. Darrell 79% from the line last year. Saw Ed Rush just walk over to Knicks assistant coach Rick Pitino and apparently asked him to calm down. Hubie Brown was hit with a technical by Bernie Fire in the first quarter. Knicks by 4, 33-29. 3 minutes in, second quarter. There's Walt driving on Walker. Rebound Orr. Lancaster Gordon getting it back and called for the travel.
It's definitely helter-skelter by both ball clubs, but actually it's been good defense that has been causing the turnovers by both ball clubs because they are applying pressure full court.
24 turnovers combined in this first half. And a traveling violation on Walker, so the basket does not count. And the Clippers want to talk it over. Jim Lynam indicating the timeout. 8:35 remaining in this first half. Timeout called by the LA Clippers. The Knicks leading it by the score of 33-29. Back at the Sports Arena in Los Angeles, Hubie Brown detailing it as we take a look back at the rejection leading to the good transition by the Knicks.
And it was off of the good pressure defense as Grunfeld gets the ball over to Walker and he beats Gordon to the hoop. Easy basket. Both ball clubs have applied a lot of pressure and caused a lot of turnovers here in the first half. It's been an interesting game so far.
Knicks by 4, 33-29. Again, the pressure defense by the Knicks. Left the open man. Gordon's pass a little bit too hard. He's able to recover and runs into trouble. Grunfeld with a nice play.
Ernie just simply took the ball away from Lancaster Gordon then.
Grunfeld met by Smith. Looking to feed Robinson. The steal by Derek Smith. And Lancaster Gordon directing traffic. Here's Bridgman. Well, he continues his shooting difficulties. Good hands by Smith, recovered by Walker. Bernard King is getting set to return. Down to 10 on the shot clock. Here's Carter. And a loose ball against the Knicks. Darrell Walker committing his second.
See, that foul mark was unnecessary by Darrell Walker because he had no chance of getting that rebound, especially with Bill Walton there going for the rebound. He would have been better off backing up as a guard, getting ready defensively instead of picking up an unnecessary foul.
The Knicks now go with a front line of King, Robinson, and Orr. A very small front line. Sparrow and Carter at the guards. 7.5 remaining. First half, the Knicks lead it by 4. There's Walton guarded by a combination of Orr and Robinson.
Excellent pass by Bill Walton, then beating the double team, getting it over to White for the little easy layup.
Rory White with his first field goal. 33-31. The Knicks by 2. Marcus Johnson, who just returned. King has 9. The Knicks by 4, 35-31. Walt over King. The Knicks will be getting some height in just a moment as Pat Cummings and Ken Bannister at the scorer's table.
There wasn't much that King could do about Walton, who moved extremely well again when the pressure was applied, got the inside position down low and scored.
Good fake by King and draws the foul, number 3 on Marcus Johnson. So King to the line, Bannister, Tucker, and Cummings reported.
It really is great to see two great athletes go against each other in Bernard King and Marcus Johnson. That time Marcus, who the play before had been beaten with a little turnaround jumper, was expecting the jumper from King, and he faked it, got him in the air, got the foul. Big play as far as the Knicks are concerned.
Bernard now 1 for 2 from the line. Nixon and Bridgman return, and Johnson sits down. Marcus with 3 personal fouls.
And that's a physical mismatch as far as the Knicks are concerned. There's no way that Junior Bridgman can handle Bernard King down low, so they might be looking for Bernard a lot here in the second quarter.
10 points for King. The Knicks by 3. Been close throughout. Knicks have led by as many as 5. The Clippers by 4. Close to a backcourt violation by Derek Smith. Good pressure. 7 on the shot clock. Here's Smith. And it counts.
Really a strong move by Derek Smith that time as the Clippers are moving the ball around against the pressure defense. Smith going to his left. Now watch it. He gathers himself, goes up. There's the contact. On the continuation, good concentration and scored. Derek Smith showed good concentration and strength on that play.
Trent Tucker committing the foul, his first. And Smith has 8 points. We're tied at 36. Tucker. Rebound Smith. Here is Bridgman. So Junior Bridgman, who has been struggling with his first field goal in 2 ball games, 0 for 6 in Phoenix the other night, and he missed his first 2 shots from the floor here tonight. Illegal defense, the zone warning called by Ed Rush.
And it did not come a minute too soon as Tucker had found himself really in a tough situation on the double team. But Ed Rush bailed the Knicks out by calling illegal defense against the Clippers as they are continuing to double team and press all over the floor.
Knicks get the new 24. King beating the overplay. And a loose ball foul against the Knicks. Pat Cummings banking with Bill Walton. For Cummings, his second foul.
Pat Cummings was saying that he was pushed from behind. I think he was actually pushed by Ken Bannister into Junior Bridgman, and that is right. Bridgman is on his way to the free throw line, and Pat is saying, hey, look, I was pushed, but he didn't know his own teammate had pushed him from behind.
Junior Bridgman spent 9 years with the Milwaukee Bucks. Appeared to regain his health last year after a string of injuries.
You know what Junior said when I was talking to him before the game? He was expensive to live out here in the West Coast. He wasn't used to the high prices of rent. He liked his dollars.
5 points for Bridgman. Bannister. Ken Bannister with an in-your-face. And the Knicks now trail by 2, 40-38. Here is Walton stopped by Bannister, but a foul as Walton hits the floor.
Bill Walton showed good mobility then, and he crossed over, went to the hoop, put it up, but he was fouled by Bannister as timeout is called.
5 minutes, 16 seconds remaining. In this first half, the Clippers lead the Knicks 40-38. The last time they played a game here, regular season, was December of '67 when the Lakers went up against the Pistons. You ever play here?
Yes, I did. I played here when the NBA had the one-on-one contest.
Oh,
Went
yes.
to the quarterfinals, as a matter of fact.
Quarterfinals, one-on-one.
That was tough, Marv. I keep telling you, I was a good player. Not a great player, but a good player.
Well, I know that you have been tearful the last couple of months ever since you dropped down to number 6 on Louisville's all-time scoring list.
Yes,
Lancaster Gordon did it to you.
Yes, he did. He's the 5th. Took him 4 years to pass me, though.
Oh, I see. What is it? Griffith, Unseld, Derek Smith?
Griffith, Derek Smith, Charlie Tyree, Wes Unseld, now Lancaster Gordon, and me.
Nice follow by White on the miss by Derek Smith. And the Knicks have a 3-on-2. Here's King over Bridgman. Yes. So it's a 41-40 Clipper lead, and Bernard King has 12 points.
Bernard King made that shot look so easy. He just got himself under control and knew he could jump over Junior Bridgman, hit the little baseline jumper.
4:20 left in this first half. At halftime, we'll be talking with Marcus Johnson. Beautiful feed for Walton.
Nice little give and go by Nixon and Walton. That time, Walton rolled to the hoop, received a lob pass from Nixon as Hubie is hollering at Bannister. He did not rotate on the defense then fast enough.
Pat Cummings from deep. 8 points for Cummings.
Real deep. Maybe out of his range.
But it hits to bring the Knicks within 1. 43-42. 7 on the 24. Here is Nixon. 8 points for Norm Nixon.
The Knicks trying to double team the ball down low. White received it down low, got it back out to Nixon as the guard dropped down, and Nixon hit the 15-footer.
And Bannister was pushed. Bridgman committing his first. Here's James Donaldson. Returning for Walton, sits down and gets a half. Good half for Bill, 13 points. Here is Cummings, and he is hot. And Cummings has 10. Clippers by 1, 45-44.
Nice move by Cummings. He knew he had Smith on him. He just backed him up and hit the little 10-foot baseline jumper.
Donaldson with position. His 4th field goal has 8, and the Clippers lead by 3, 47-44.
Again, the defense did not rotate soon enough on that little pick and roll, and Donaldson scored in the paint.
Nice pass from Cummings to King. Beautiful timing.
And what made that possible was hitting that outside jump shot that Cummings did, forcing the big man up on him. Nice lob pass to King for 2 points.
Clippers by 1, 47-46. Here is Bridgman. Rebound Cummings. Sparrow getting it down. Sparrow and Tucker at the guards. Cummings going to the hoop. Oh, beautiful move. He left Donaldson standing, and Pat Cummings with a terrific sequence. Last couple of minutes, he has done it from the outside on the drive, and then with a beautiful pass. Here is Bridgman, and a foul.
Somebody on that particular play lost concentration because Bridgman was left in the paint all alone. Nixon dribbling with his head up, got the ball to Bridgman, and he faked the shot, got defensive man in the air, hit it. He has a chance for a 3-point play, so lack of concentration on the defensive end may lead to a 3-point play by this guy, Junior Bridgman.
3 for 3 from the line. And has 8 points now. The Clippers by 2, 50-48. 2 minutes left. First half. Bannister off the fake, taking to the hoop, and he drew the foul. A strong move by the rookie, Ken Bannister. And here is the rookie from San Diego State, Michael Cage, the Clippers' second pick on the first round, checking in, replacing Donaldson. Donaldson with 8 points, 3 personal fouls. Michael Cage, a rebounder supreme. As a senior, averaged 24 points, shot 56%, and finished as San Diego State's all-time leading scorer. Michael Cage. We'll get a look at him for the first time. And Fryer blows the whistle. Someone in the lane too quickly for the
Michael Cage. We got a real good look.
Close up.
He got in the lane too fast. So Bannister gets a substitute free throw here.
So we're tied at 50. Pressure by Sparrow all over Nixon. Richmond doubled up. Here's Smith. Traveling violation.
A good pressure defense causing the Clippers to turn the ball over. Now, I tell you, they are not stealing the ball as much, neither ball club, but they are forcing each club to hurry their offense.
Well, total of 28 turnovers in this first half, make it 29 as the Knicks pick up their 14th, and the Clippers with 15. Minute and a half left, first half, tied at 50. Here's Nixon, and he's had the hot hand from deep. 5 field goals, 10 points.
That's where he's extremely tough, especially off the dribble on the right-hand side of the court. That time, maybe a little out of his range, but hitting the shot, Norm Nixon.
Bannister turning off the double team. Cummings keeping it alive. And the Knicks get the new 24. A minute remaining in the half. Here's King over White. Richmond. 40 seconds left in the half. $15 on the 24 as Sparrow checks the bench. Again, King setting up on White. Here's Bernard. Rebounded by Bridgman. 15 seconds to go in the half. Down to 10. And a foul with 5 seconds remaining. A holding foul on Bannister.
Bannister that time did not get back soon enough defensively to pick up White. As a matter of fact, Sparrow came back to help out, and as White started to make his little spin move for the shot, that's when Bannister fouled White. He will shoot 2 free throws with 5 seconds left in the half.
Last year, Rory White split the season between Phoenix, Milwaukee, San Diego, plus Wyoming and Albuquerque of the Continental Basketball Association.
You know, when you do that, Mark, that means that you pick up a lot of friends around the country. I know the feeling.
In some cases. 5 seconds left. Clippers by 3. King with a quick release. So that is the end of the half here in Los Angeles. And the LA Clippers in their home opener, hearing it from the crowd, they lead the New York Knicks 53-50. Coming up, a talk with Marcus Johnson of the Clippers. We'll be back after these messages.
Is that they have, and I've charted this is unofficial, scored 13 baskets in the paint. So that means that 26 points have come from extremely good shooting area. And
product of the Philadelphia schoolyards, following in the footsteps of Jack Ramsey and Jack McKinney and Paul Westhead, making the move from St. Joe's to the pros. Here's Rory Sparrow, rebounded by James Donaldson. And the foul committed by Ken Bannister. That's his 3rd. Clippers opening up with Nixon and Smith at the guards. Donaldson, Walt, and Johnson up front. The Knicks with their starting lineup. Tucker and Sparrow at the guards. There's Walt getting position. And rebounded by Tucker. Cummings, King, and Bannister up front. Opening minute, 3rd quarter. And the Knicks trailing by 3. Bannister posting on Walt. And threw it away, but Smith got a piece of it.
If he had taken one more dribble, he probably could have ended up with a reverse layup. Instead, he tried to make the pass, and Smith knocked it out of bounds.
7 on the shot clock. Here's Cummings, rejected. Tucker with 3 on the 24. Bannister getting it away. But it's a violation.
Air ball.
24-second violation.
Good interior defense by Bill Walton then.
Bannister.
Walton did a good job of getting Bannister on his hip, and it was an excellent pass from Norm Nixon for the stuff. Now, Bannister is going to have to be more physical with Walton down low.
And the Clippers with their biggest lead. Rory Sparrow, yes. His second field goal has 4. Clippers lead at 55-52.
Sparrow has done an excellent job on Norm Nixon, and he just picked up a foul there, knocking the ball away for the Clippers.
Sparrow committing his second. They double up on Johnson. Here's Smith. Derek Smith shooting well. He now has 10.
The Knicks tried to go into a trapping defense after the inbounds pass, and Smith was left alone, and he hit the open jumper. That's where he likes to shoot the ball, on the baseline.
Pat Cummings, and rebounded by Donaldson. Off the steal. Bad pass by Bannister. Clippers in possession, leading by 5. Shot! Nixon off the spin. And Sparrow moving on Smith. Here's Bannister.
So a pass by Rory Sparrow with the 2-on-1 situation, a little backflip to Bannister, and he laid it off the glass. 2 points, good defense by the Knicks.
10 points for Cam Bannister. And the Knicks trail by 3, 57-54. Donaldson. And the foul on the Knicks. Art Bannister with his 4th personal foul. So Truck Robinson, who played briefly in the first half, back on the floor. Here's James Donaldson. His first foul shot of the night. Spent 3 years in Seattle. This is second year with the Clippers. Acquired from Seattle prior to last season, along with Greg Kelson. From Meacham, England, James Donaldson, 7'2", 280 pounds. And he's given the Clippers a 5-point lead, 59-54. Cummings getting position. Rebounded by Walton. Brown responding to the play of Bill Walton. Marcus Johnson having a rough time. Talked about that broken bone in the hand at halftime, although he says that has not bothered him and did not over the first 2 ball games. Here's Cummings. Walt got a piece of it, and Donaldson sweeps the board. Derek Smith. 12 for Smith, and a timeout called by the Knicks. Biggest lead of the night. Clippers by 7. 8 minutes, 15 seconds remaining. Knicks and the Bulls, Thursday, November 8th. Tickets available at the Garden box office. Rory Sparrow from 3-point range. So Sparrow with a 3-pointer, and the Knicks now trail by 4, 61-57.
Sparrow did a good job of spotting up at the 3-point area, as well as Bernard King getting the pass over to him. And almost a turnover by Marcus Johnson, but they give the ball back to the Clippers.
14 on the shot clock. And Walton lost it. Good recovery by Robinson.
It really was, and it was almost a good out-of-bounds play. Normally you don't see guys get that close to scoring, especially when the ball is out of bounds up underneath.
Truck guarded by Donaldson. Here's Cummings around Walton, fell down.
Pat Cummings taking the jump shot, going right, breaking Walton's ankles. That's Clark Talk.
Yes, I picked that up, Butch. Cummings has 14. Johnson. Rebound, King. And the Knicks within a spurt. Bernard pulling up. Sparrow, yes. And we're tied at 61, and this streak began with the three-point field goal by Rory Sparrow.
And King used good judgment, getting the ball over to Sparrow instead of forcing the issue for the 15-footer.
Donaldson, nice play. That pass slightly overthrown.
Now, what the Knicks defensive men have been doing, they've been jumping out to help with Nixon. That time, Donaldson faked the pick, rolled to the hoop, received the pass, and scored.
So by 2.
What I was about to say is that the Knicks defensive men cannot commit themselves too soon as an offensive foul was called against the Knicks.
Trent Tucker committing the foul, his third, 6.5 remaining. Third quarter, Clippers were up by 7. They now lead by 2, 63-61. Knicks led by as many as 5 in the first half. Here's Derek Smith getting position. Beautiful soft touch. He now has 14.
Well, he just showed his ability to play down low. He's been a forward all of his life, a converted forward as a matter of fact, playing the off guard, using his strength against Trent Tucker and scoring Derek Smith.
Cummings off the nice one-hop from Robinson.
Cummings has had an excellent game. Got the position in the paint, fall away jumper, nothing but hit.
16 for Cummings, Clippers by 2, 65-63. Tucker in a battle with Smith and a foul. Derek Smith claiming position and was pushed. Trent picks up number 4, and Butch Carter will replace him.
Butch Carter is a little more physical than Trent Tucker, and what the Clippers are doing now, they're trying to exploit Derek Smith with the off guard of the New York Knicks.
Butch hasn't been able to locate his shot the last 2 games, 0 for 4 in the first half. Clippers keep it alive. The steal by King, and he is fouled.
Knicks lucky then. As a matter of fact, the Clippers had 2 golden opportunities by Bill Walton to tip in the missed shot by Derek Smith. King was fouled as he grabbed the loose ball and started up the floor.
Smith committing the foul, his second. Knicks down by 2, 5.5 left. Third quarter. Marv Albert with Butch Beard from the Sports Arena in Los Angeles. The home opener for the Clippers. Sparrow, yes. Rory Sparrow with 11, and we're tied at 65.
Sparrow using the Robinson pick, pulling up from 15 feet, hitting the jumper.
Alley-oop, misfires. Bernard King met by Wolf, beautiful play, and Sparrow puts it home.
Excellent basketball by King that time. Actually, he was on his way to the hoop. Walton stepped in front, got it over to Sparrow for the 2-point. Good basketball by the Knicks on the break then.
Knicks by 2, 67-65. They double up on Nixon. Good hands by Cummings. Sparrow with Nixon back. Oh! That's called going the Knick way. A big break. The Knicks will take it. And they lead by 4, and the Clippers look to talk it over. The Clippers led by as many as 7 earlier this third quarter. 4:38 remaining in the third. The Knicks, off a 15-4 spurt, have a 4-point lead. Now Rory White back on the floor. Bill Walton sitting down. Here is Nixon forcing on. And Buck Robinson getting position. 4 minutes, 10 seconds left, third quarter. Bernard King having trouble making the move away from Marcus Johnson. Trump taking to the hoop. 71-65. The Knicks on top, and it is now a 17-4 surge to put the Knicks on top by 6. Donaldson fouled by Carter. And a good foul by Butch Carter.
It really was. As a matter of fact, Truck Robinson was a step slow on the rotating defense, and Butch Carter ended up fouling. Now you're going to see Truck Robinson on the play before, dribble to his left, shoots a little running hook shot against White. Nice touch by Truck Robinson, who has played well here in the second half.
Truck making his first appearance of the regular season off the bursitis in the knee. James Donaldson now 3 for 3 from the line. Junior Bridgman returning. Junior Marcus Johnson with only 5 points sitting down. Marcus had 25 against Phoenix on Tuesday and shot 12 for 23. 71-67. The Knicks by 4. 3:45 left third quarter.
And full court pressure defense by the LA Clippers.
Robinson on a recovery and a foul, and again the ball bouncing the right way. That pass deflected.
It really was. And you see what the pressure defense will do to an offensive team. Actually, the Knicks forced it. Bernard King forced that pass over to Cummings, and it just so happens to land in Truck Robinson's hands, and he was fouled as he went up for the shot. But the pressure defense does one of two things. It causes a turnover, or it will cause the offensive team to put up a bad shot, which forces the defensive team to get into a transition game if they rebound.
Well, Robinson missing both foul shots. 4-point Knick lead. Carter applying the pressure on Nixon. That's an adventure. Rejected by Robinson.
An excellent block by Truck Robinson.
Bernard King, yes, and the foul.
That's exciting basketball, and it all started with a good block by Truck Robinson, getting the ball out to Bernard King. Here you're going to see the block by Robinson. Look at the block. He blocked it with his left hand. Pat Cummings gets the pass out to Butch Carter. Carter over to Bernard King and Norm Nixon. Bam! Oh, that's Derek Smith. Woo! In your face, Derek.
Third foul committed by Smith. Here's Sparrow. Oh, he is on fire. Able to head off the missed foul shot by King. And the Knicks now lead by 8. 75-67. More pressure, and it flicks. Here's King putting the move on Smith. And he is sent flying. He's okay. Bernard fouled on the play. And the Knicks have exploded here in the third quarter. This is shades of the playoff series against Detroit and Boston.
Watch King knock the ball away from White on the blind side. Sparrow retrieving the ball, getting it up to Bernard King. He's fouled right there by Smith as timeout is called.
The Clippers calling for time. 3 minutes, 3:01 remaining third quarter. And the Knicks leading it now by the score of 75-67. A reminder, this program is authorized by Madison Square Garden. Bernard King, 18 points and a bounce back from the game against the Jazz on Tuesday night. And Bernard to the line. He's 2 for 4 from the foul line. A 78% free throw shooter last year. So the Knicks now by 9. Marcus Johnson back in. Marcus has not been able to get going to this point.
Well, he's had a tough assignment. He had to start out on Bernard King, and that's one of the reasons why his offensive output hasn't been what it has been in the first 2 games.
And King has done a good job against Johnson at the other end. 10-point Knick lead. Again, the pressure by the Knicks. Here is Marcus Johnson, not able to hit on the finger roll. Nice fake by Robinson. And Truck Robinson playing very well here.
Almost what you would call the unsung hero, because he's done a good job on the boards as well as supplying some offensive output. Truck Robinson making his 84-85 debut.
Bridgman. Nice tip, but missed. Good effort by White. The Knicks have outscored the Clippers 25-6 to take a 12-point lead with 2:10 left, third quarter. Good save by Cummings. Here's Bridgman. 79-69, the Knicks by 10.
Junior Bridgman getting down the floor and spotting up. Norm Nixon finding him on the baseline. Bridgman hit the jumper to bring the Clippers to within 10.
And Bridgman has 10 points. Robinson looking to hit Sparrow. Thought he had the Clippers fooled. Hubie Brown getting set to make some substitutions. And the foul call. Pat Cummings with his third.
Pat thought he had made, Mark thought he had made a good defensive play there. He tried to get position on Marcus Johnson. Here you see Nixon getting the ball over to Johnson. Now Johnson is going to the hoop. See, but Pat reached in. It was a good call. He had a lot of ball there. Could have very easily have been a jump ball, but instead it was a foul. Johnson shoots 2.
Marcus 2 for 3 from the line. That is only his 6th point of the night. James Bailey has come on with Lewis Orr, Darrell Walker, Ernie Grunfeld, Butch Carter. 8-point Knick lead, 79-71. Minute 20 remaining, third quarter. White breaks it up, intended for Orr.
If that pass had been just a little higher, Lewis Orr would have ended up with a good layup or a good shot because there wasn't defensive rotation by the Clippers then.
There's Bailey, and called for the steps. Tried the circle route.
James Bailey likes to go left. That time he was just a little too far out of his range to make the move, and he ended up walking.
And a foul, a hold on Walker for down his third.
You know, Norm Nixon has a habit of pushing off with the off arm. Normally when he's driving to his right, he uses his left arm to keep the defensive player away. That call maybe could have gone either way, but instead it went against Walker as Nixon shoots 2 free throws.
Kind of hides the push. Tough sometimes.
Not really. If you watch it.
Well, tough to pick it up sometimes.
He keeps that arm in, but when he gets ready to extend that off arm, he really pushes that defensive player off. But I'll give you the benefit of the doubt.
6-point Knick lead, 79-73. Here's Walker. Walker again. And the Knicks now lead at 81-73 with 50 seconds to go, third quarter. Broken up, Walker got a hand on it, and the Knicks on a break. It's a 4-on-2. Grunfeld going glass. Ernie Grunfeld with his first field goal. The Knicks by 10, 83-73. A steal by Orr, again off the pressure. And a traveling violation.
The Knicks are really, this second unit can apply a lot of pressure, and that time in their haste after the Orr steal of getting the ball up the floor for the easy shot, Walker turned the ball over, so I'm pretty sure that the Clippers will try to go for the last shot of the quarter.
Down to 20 seconds left of the quarter. Nixon checking out the clock. They double up on him. Down to 10 seconds. The steal by Walker. Moving on Bridgman. Oh, what a play by Darrell Walker. 5 seconds remaining. The Knicks by 12. The clock not running, though. That was a late start. Basket counts. And man on the clock really gave the benefit of the doubt. So after 3 quarters, the Knicks 85, Clippers 75. We'll be back with the fourth in just a moment.
Starting here in the fourth quarter.
They outscored the Clippers 35-22 in the third quarter. Bernard King with 20 points, and he exploded in the third. Pat Cummings 16, Rory Sparrow 15, Donaldson and Smith 14 apiece. Clipper ball as we get underway. Bill Walton is back on the floor. Here is Marcus Johnson. 9 for Johnson, showing some signs, and look out.
Who was that, Walton and Butch Carter?
Yes.
And those guys, they're not going to do anything. I wonder if we could get them a match in the Garden.
a mild flare.
Very mild.
Carter guarded by Bridgman. Walker back for Carter. And Butch fires from three-point range. Johnson. White. And the foul.
Well, they were going to call the foul, I think, on Ernie Grunfeld from behind, but Marcus Johnson pushing the ball up the floor actually forced the issue. He was lucky that Rory White ended up with the ball, and as White went up for the shot, he was fouled, so he will shoot 2 free throws.
Rory White in his 3rd season in the NBA out of South Alabama. He was a 4th-round pick of Phoenix back in '82. He's 2 for 3 from the line. He now has 6 points. Clippers starting 5 is solid. The bench, a major question mark. White is probably the most valuable guy off the bench. Catchings is out with a foot injury tonight.
White and Bridgman will have to supply a lot of good basketball for the Clippers if they're expected to have a decent season.
Here's Grunfeld. Should mention Bridgman and then White. Lancaster Gordon seems to be struggling at this point.
He's in between. They have him as the off guard, and he's going to have to play some point guard as well. So he's a rookie. He'll learn.
Here's White. Rejected but a foul.
Bill Walton has been extremely active the whole game. That time he just simply stripped the ball away from Louis Orr, and White ended up with it as he started up for his shot. He was fouled, and Bailey blocked the shot, so therefore forcing White to get the points from the free throw line.
Coach Carter committing his 3rd. And he'll be upset about that last call, and involved in a conversation with Bernie Fryer at midcourt.
He's trying to get the foul over the back of Bill Walton as Nixon comes up with the steal.
James Bailey coughing it up, and a 5-point Knick lead, 87-82.
Nixon did a good job of coming from the blind side then to strip Bailey of the ball.
Here's Walker going backboard. Now Walker with 13. The Knicks 89, Clippers 82. The pressure on Bridgman. Ducking away. Here's White. He's been strong. Rory White with 10 points and very active off the board.
Well, Bridgman did a good job of getting out of the double team situation, got it to White, and White hit the little 5-footer in the paint as the Clippers come within 5.
Down to 6 on the shot clock. Here's Bailey. Yes. James Bailey getting the Knicks a 7-point lead, 91-84. 9:40 left in the ballgame. Truck Robinson is getting set to return. Walt to the hoop. And a blocking foul called on Bailey.
That is a tough call because I thought James Bailey had established position as Walton drove down the lane, but instead Ed Rush said that Bailey moved. Here's Walton's down the lane. Well, Bailey is moving. It could have gone either way. I think it was still a break for the Clippers did.
Here's Derek Smith replacing Rory White. Foul on Bailey, his 3rd, and he's replaced by Truck Robinson. Bill Walton 3 for 7 from the line. Phoenix and Portland now playing a second overtime, tied at 1:12 in the 4th quarter. Denver leads Chicago 118-101. San Antonio over Golden State 91-80 at the end of 3. And it's Seattle 81, the LA Lakers 78 in the 4th quarter. The Knicks lead by 6. 8 on the shot clock. Here's Grunfeld. And a reach-in. As Nixon looked to pull away, Butch Carter committing his 4th.
The Knicks almost had the 24-second shot clock to run out on them that time as Grunfeld put up the 20-footer. It came off the glass. Nixon came up with the ball, and he was fouled as he started up the floor.
And again, the Knicks in early foul difficulty. That's their 4th team foul. Clippers do not have any.
Illegal defense. That's the second one, so that means it's a technical foul. The Clippers will shoot the free throw and retain the ball back. As you see, Hubie Brown protesting. He thought that his ball club, although they were in the process of double teaming with the pressure, he thought that they were...
Now, the Knicks are claiming that is only the first on them. There was one on San Diego
right in the first half.
They were about to go to the line, but they changed their mind. Hubie says thank you. Illegal defense call against the Knicks. The next one would bring a technical.
Thank you. As I was explaining everything, I think.
All right, Walt off the inbounds. Here's Bridgman accelerating at the foul call.
Derek Smith is joined with somebody with Ernie Grunfeld. I can't believe these basketball players can get so excited and upset. Jeez. Boy, don't they understand that you can get hurt if you try fisticuffs? Well, anyway, Bridgman was fouled as he went down the lane. He will shoot 2 free throws.
Getting on the testy side here in the second half.
The opener, you know, the Clippers would like to win. The Knicks need a win on the road. They gave one away Tuesday night, so you're right, they are a little testy.
And Bridgman brings the Clippers within 4, 91-87. 3 minutes gone by, 4th quarter. Darrell Walker drawing the foul. Nixon committing his first.
Nixon trying to knock the ball away from Darrell Walker as he was on the dribble. Walker got around him. Then Nixon bailed out Darrell Walker as he took the 15-foot baseline jumper. Walker will shoot 2 free throws, as that is the first team foul on the LA Clippers.
14 for Darrell. He hit 5 of 6 with his 2 long bombs Tuesday night against the Jazz in Salt Lake City. Walton sweeping the board. Knicks lead by 5. Derek Smith. Beautiful move by Derek Smith, who now has 16, and the Knicks now by 3, 92-89.
Smith did an excellent job of changing the ball from his right hand to his left hand as he put up the left-handed layup in.
Walton guarding Robinson. Here's Clark with the one-on-one. Walton for Nixon. Clippers on the run. Marcus Johnson. A timeout called by the Knicks. 8:08 left in the game. Knicks by 1.
The rebound. He doesn't bring the ball out. He gets it over his head, flips it out to Nixon. Now, I thought Nixon would make the pass over to Johnson there, but he knew better. He made the lob pass to Marcus Johnson for the layup, but it was great defensive rebounding by Walton that started the basket.
And Walton has 12 rebounds to lead both clubs. Pat Cummings off the fake. Butch Carter wisely decides to bring it out. The Knicks lead at 92-91. Off a 25-6 spurt in the third quarter, they took a commanding lead, leading by as many as 14. But the Clippers right back into it, and the call against the Knicks. Darrell Walker committing the foul as 4th.
And I really don't know if he pushed Smith from behind, although they did call the foul on Walker as Bernard King put up an air ball on the baseline. Derek Smith will go to the free throw line. Here's where Smith's experience as a forward comes into hand, because he has now been working the offensive boards as well as the defensive boards, adding a 4th player for the Clippers.
Derek Smith now 2 for 4 from the line. He has had an outstanding game, 16 points in all. Clippers looking to tie it. Last time the Clippers led, it was 65-63 for LA. And then the Knicks pulling away, but we're even at 92 with 7.5 left in the game. And the call on the Clippers. Knicks getting themselves in trouble. Once again, an early foul difficulty, so we'll see quite a bit of the Clippers on the line in this fourth quarter. Junior Bridgman called on the foul, his third. Knicks now with Sparrow and Connor at the guards. With Connor. So for Butch, who has been off the mark, that's his first field goal. It was only 2 for 7 against Utah. He played well against Detroit on the Saturday. Knicks by 2, 94-92. Walton had it knocked away by Cummings.
That's a nice little play that the Clippers have. It was a back pick by Bill Walton for Derek Smith. Actually, they were looking for the lob pass. They did not make the pass to Smith. As soon as Walton made the pick, he rolled to the hoop, received it, went to the basket, and was fouled. He will shoot 2 free throws. It's not a bad foul because Walton has proven to be a bad free throw shooter tonight.
And he's now 4 for 10 from the line.
Shooting 40% for the year, right on cue.
So he blows 2 more. And the Knicks by 2, 94-92. Bernard King. Rebound to the leaping Derek Smith. This is Nixon setting it up. Off the hesitation dribble.
Now, I wonder if he pushed off with that left hand. I bet you he did, especially the way Sparrow hit the floor. But Norm Nixon hitting the jump shot to tie the score.
16 for Nixon. We're even at 94. Cummings from long range. Here's Bridgman. And the foul called on Connor, his 5th.
Now what the Knicks have got to do, they have got to have and show a little patience on the offensive end. That time Cummings put up the shot too far. Let's see if Nixon pushes off here. There he is on the dribble. Yes, ever so slightly, but the 2 points to tie the score. But what the Knicks have to do on the offensive end, they are now putting up only 1 shot because they're rushing their offense. They must stay within their offensive scheme of things and look for the first or second, maybe third option.
And Bridgman is 8 for 8 from the line. Clippers by 2, 96-94. Smith with a great effort. Lewis Orr, and he ties it at 96. For Orr, who has been quiet after the 2 terrific games in Utah and against the Pistons, his first field goal.
Little head ball fake just simply froze Bill Walton in as Orr scored.
5 on the shot clock. Good defense. Sparrow off the steal. And wait a moment, they're saying bring it back, and a technical foul called on Orr, who argued the call. Loose ball foul, says Bernie Pryor.
Well, Rory Sparrow wants to come over here and see a replay, but Rory, we don't have one right now. He thought that he and Orr had made a good defensive play, but Bernie Pryor thought otherwise, called a foul on Orr as well as a technical.
A technical foul on Lewis Orr, sending Junior Bridgman to the line. He's 8 for 8 from the line.
This could be a very big play because it not only gives the Clippers the ball, it not only gives the Clippers an opportunity to shoot the technical foul, but the Knicks are over the limit, so Nixon will shoot 2 free throws off of what looked like a good defensive play by the New York Knicks.
Now Rory White returns, and Junior Bridgman will get a rest, at least with 15. The Clippers have been to the line 41 times, 29 for 41. The Knicks only 19 times tonight. And the Knicks 11 for 19. That is a huge differential.
I would say so.
Clippers by 2. 98-96. Here's Bannister. Yes. And we're tied at 98.
Now that's what the Knicks have to do. Bannister came off of a good pick, had a little 15-footer and buried it. Excellent basketball with patience.
9 on the shot clock. Little volleyball effect. And traveling violation called. So White called for steps. And on the turnover, it's Nick Ball. 5:10 left in the game. The Knicks 98, the Clippers 98. Knicks have led by as many as 14, and the Clippers have led by 7. There's King off the head fake, and he's fouled by Walton.
Hand check down low by Bill Walton, who actually guarding Bernard King means that he's giving up a lot as far as quickness is concerned. Did a pretty good job then, but he rode Bernard King as Bernard made his move to the basket.
13 foul picked up by the Clippers. King, well, they say not shooting foul. So here is Cummings called on the travel.
Nice little head fake, but Pat Cummings did shuffle his feet before he put the ball on the floor and turnover. Had quite a few of those in this game tonight.
For the Knicks, their 21st turnover. Clippers with 22. Jumping out of Nixon. Here's Smith off a double team. Johnson off the board. Here's White. And Bannister gets to it. King with Nixon back. He had to pull up. Back it up, says Hubie Brown. With 12 on the 24. Now King putting the move on Walton. Rebound Johnson. And obviously the height of Walton does change King's shot. Tied at 98. Just under 4 minutes left in the game. 2 on the shot clock. Nixon gets it away. King with Smith back. And here's Bernard on the explosion, and he draws the foul.
Knicks doing a good job defensively that time, forcing the Clippers to put up a shot with the 24-second shot clock running out. Knicks grabbed the rebound, got it up to Bernard King, and he was fouled by Derek Smith as he went to the hoop. Bernard, again, here in the second half, he has missed some shots that he normally hits. He has to hit these 2 free throws to put the Knicks ahead. By 2 if he does. I think that Bernard King is just forcing the issue just a little bit. He realizes that if he doesn't score and get a big offensive output, if the Knicks do not get a big offensive output by him, that they will come up on the losing end. And he's just forcing his shot a little, even though he shoots that shot extremely quick.
And he is now 5 for 8 from the line. 21 points for King. Knicks by 1. 99-98. Well, we saw the other night he was a bit out of his range against Utah, but has had to change his game a little bit. Clippers keep it alive. 3.5 left in the game. Smith off the spin, and Pryor with the call.
Trent Tucker losing Derek Smith, who was moving without the ball. Marcus Johnson got the ball down to Smith, and he was fouled by Pat Cummings as he went up for the shot. Lack of concentration by, or a little lapse by Trent Tucker, enabling Smith to get the ball, and he was fouled. He will shoot 2 free throws.
And that was number 5 on Cummings. Derek Smith, 3 for 5 from the line. 18 points for Smith, matching his total from the other night against the Phoenix Suns. As we mentioned earlier, celebrating his 23rd birthday. Derek Smith giving the Clippers a 1-point lead, 100-99. 3:15 left in the game. Sparrow hitting Bannister. was bothered by the sight of Walton.
But again, you had Derek Smith, the guard, getting to the defensive boards, limiting the Knicks to only one shot.
Cummings playing with the 5, getting help from Sparrow. Here's Smith. And Bannister with a tough rebound. And Sparrow throwing it away.
Right idea, but just the pass was a little too hard as Sparrow threw the ball out of bounds on a fast break situation as timeout is called.
2:42 left in the game. Clippers lead it 100-99. Getty, maker of High Performance Gasolines, wants to salute another star performance, and we'll have the selection of tonight's Getty MVP of the game in just a few moments. 100-99, Clippers by 1, and there is a stat that the Knick coaching staff will be pondering following tonight's ball game. 12,018, good crowd here for the home opener for the LA Clippers. Capacity is at the 15,000 mark, so they draw over 12 on opening night. 7 on the shot clock. Johnson keeping it alive in a big bucket from Marcus Johnson. 3-point Clipper lead. 2:15 left in the game.
Some kind of athletic move by Marcus Johnson. Bernard King looked like he had made a good defensive play, knocking the ball away from Walton. Johnson comes up with it and scores.
And here's King with a spectacular move to get it off and hit over Walton.
Did he not hang in the air, give Walton an elbow in the chest, as Walton has called a 20-second timeout himself. Here you will see the play. King, now watch him hang in the air. Watch him give him the elbow right there as he hangs. Not too much, but it was some kind of play by Bernard King. I haven't seen anybody hang that long in the air since I put my coat in the closet. Oh. You gotta love it, don't you?
All right, Walton shaking it off. The Knicks now trail by 1, 102-101 with 2:02 remaining.
And look at the athletic move by Marcus Johnson, getting the ball back from Bernard King, putting it up left-handed. 2 plays by excellent basketball players in the NBA, King and Johnson.
Back to the live action. We're under 2 minutes left in the game. Clippers in possession with a 1-point lead. And the foul on Sparrow. That's his third.
Well, Rory got caught. I'm telling you, Norm Nixon pushed off with the left hand, but Rory stayed right there and grabbed the left arm as Nixon went up for the shot, was called for the foul. Nixon goes to the free throw line. Rory said, I'm sick and tired of this elbow in my chest.
Nixon is 4 for 5 from the line. Norm Nixon, who spent 6 years with the Lakers, last year sent to San Diego. Second in assists in the NBA last year, averaging 11 a game, right behind his former teammate, Magic Johnson. 3-point Clipper lead, 104-101. A minute 45 left in the game. Again, it's King against Walton, but they double up, and Bernard gets it out. 10 on the shot clock. Here's Tucker. And King over Walton.
Bernard King working the offensive boards that time as Tucker actually put up an air ball on the left-hand drive, scoring over Walker. Bernard King scoring over Walton. Bernard King.
And Bernard is 25. The Knicks down by 1. Nixon extending the Clipper lead to 3.
Bernard, he's extremely tough, especially when he's going to his right. That time pulling up, hitting the little 15-footer, Norm Nixon.
106-103. Clippers on top, a minute 5 left in the game. Pat Cummings. Yes, it is a 1-point Clipper lead.
Trading baskets here with 59 seconds to go. The Knicks must stop the Clippers here on this possession down the floor.
And the Clippers want to talk it over. 52 seconds left in the game. And when we pick it up following the timeout, the Clippers will have 14 on the 24. We'll be right back. Down to 1 timeout. Clippers call this timeout, and it'll be Clipper ball with a 1-point lead, 106-105, and they'll have 14 on the shot clock when they put it in play.
Well, it almost forces the Clippers to get this ball inbounds on this inbounds play instead of calling a timeout, because they would use their last timeout. Walton used the 22nd timeout, so the Clippers must inbounds the ball and see if they can score. It'll be up to the Knicks to come up with a big defensive play, and they will probably call a timeout unless they get a breakaway opportunity. So this is going to be a major part of the game. It's been a well-played game the last 4 minutes.
A lot of turnovers through the first half, and it has calmed down in this fourth quarter. Rory White throwing in. Nice pass from York, but Smith moved the layup. Smith stripped by Walker. 45 seconds left in the game. Knicks down by 1, have the ball, and want to talk it over.
You talk about being lucky. Derek Smith missing a wide-open layup. An excellent out-of-bounds play by the L.A. Clippers. Smith missing the layup, and Walker stripping him. Here you will see it. Smith moving without the ball, actually, as Walker is lucky that Smith did not score here. Smith misses the layup. He gets his rebound right there, and Walker is going to strip him. Walker is a very lucky man right now. He could be really being hollered at by Hubie Brown. Instead, the Knicks now, with 42 seconds to go, have an opportunity to go up by at least a point on a field goal.
And the Clippers, with the big crowd on hand, better than 12,000 on this home opening night at the Sports Arena, would love to come away with a victory. Both the Knicks and the Clippers coming at 1-1. The hope of the Clippers is that the Bill Walton, Marcus Johnson, Norm Nixon combination will make eventually the same kind of impact that the Lakers did at the Sports Arena when Elgin Baylor and Jerry West were young and establishing pro basketball here in Los Angeles. Clippers back on the floor, and Rush motioning to the Knicks. Hubie Brown in a long discussion. The timeout period has expired. They're still talking it over now. The Knicks moving on. 42 seconds remaining. 19 on the shot clock. The Clippers by 1, 106-105. Knicks go with Tucker, Sparrow, Cummings, King, and Bannister. And Bannister will toss it in.
I wonder who the Knicks will go to on the offensive end.
And here is King. Ball knocked out of his hand. And White and Bannister tie it up, and the Clippers upset. Clippers look for the foul.
Excellent defensive play by Derek Smith, knocking the ball away from King, who had a good position right here on Bill Walton. Watch you see the quick hands of Derek Smith knocking the ball away. White coming up with it. He falls down, and they could have very easily called a foul on Bannister, but instead there's a jump ball. Good call by the officials. Let the players win this game, not a call.
And Bill Walton settling his teammates down. They were about to get involved in an argument. Pick controlled by the Clippers. 33 seconds left.
Hubie's hollering no fouls. He wants his ball club to play good defense and then get the boards, and then they will call a timeout.
Well, the Knicks over the foul limit. The next foul for the Clippers will put them over. 6 on the shot clock. 3 on the 24. Here is Walton.
Second and 10.
With 7 seconds left.
I think it's going to be Marcus Johnson and Rory Sparrow jumping, as you saw both ball clubs getting on the floor after that loose ball. And who said that regular season basketball games weren't exciting and they were boring? 22nd timeout by Hubie Brown. The Knicks now they have 2 regular timeouts, as the Clippers have 1. Now, it all depends on who's jumping. They really haven't signaled the 2 players that are jumping, Marv, in this situation. It depends whether or not Hubie is diagramming. Here we will see Walton take the shot. Now, Marcus Johnson is going to work the boards. He comes down with the ball, but is stripped from behind by Sparrow. As they get on the floor, you see Johnson on the floor. You see Sparrow as well as Bannister. Maybe it's Sparrow. I don't know. If it is, Hubie called a 22nd timeout to draw up a defensive play to try to steal the ball, not an offensive play.
And while we have a moment here, Getty would like to congratulate Pat Cummings as Getty's most valuable player for the Knicks, giving performance miles ahead of himself. tonight he receives Getty gift certificates, and Getty, the proof, is at the front. Cummings with 18 points in the ball game. So they'll jump it up. 7 seconds left.
In this situation, there's going to be a Knicks player trying to get into the seams.
Look out. Clippers win the top and a foul.
Well, the Knicks ended up fouling White. I think that they tried to foul Bill Walton. Walton didn't want any part of the ball. He got it to White, so it's up to Rory White to hit these 2 free throws to at least secure an opportunity for a tie. As Hubie Brown is motioning, call a timeout after the second free throw.
2 seconds remaining. Rory White, 4 for 6 from the line. He missed his last foul shot. A 2-point lead for the Clippers.
Well, with 2 seconds left, that means that the Knicks now can at least try to think in terms of winning with the 3-point play, 3-point shot.
Timeout called by the Knicks.
There has to be a second left. It has to be a second left.
A little quick hand on the clock.
Premature celebration.
They were a little slow, I thought, at the end of the third quarter. And now a very fast 2 seconds. And Ed Rush explaining to Jim Lyman that there's 1 second remaining as the Knicks call for time.
Jimmy he's working for the victory, but he's not going to get the call. What he has to be concerned with now is that he doesn't give up an easy shot up under the hoop, forcing the Knicks to put up a 20-footer or a 3-point opportunity in order to win. This has been an excellent game down the stretch. There's been some big baskets made by key people, with the Clippers up now by 2 points with a second to go.
The trade-off has been exciting. Marcus Johnson hit some big ones. Norm Nixon, Derek Smith down the stretch.
Forced Sparrow to try to make a bounce pass. That's the slowest pass in basketball, and that is going to help.
All right, here's King getting it off from deep, and it is off the mark. He nearly hit a 3-pointer, but the ball game is over. And the Clippers have won their home opener, defeating the New York Knicks 107-105. Good ball game. The Clippers go to a record of 2-1, and the Knicks drop to 1 up and 2 down. And a tough loss for the Knicks coming off the defeat at the hands of the Utah Jazz on Tuesday, a ball game that they let slip away. Right here, off the spurt in the third quarter, they led by as many as 14, and the Clippers bouncing back to win it 107-105. We'll be back to recap right after these messages.